Okay. Looks good. All right, everybody in YouTube land, I'm conducting a class tonight. I'm going to let y'all sit in on the class. If you are on the internet and you are attending this class, if you want to see me, you can go over to my YouTube page at High Frequency. Well, just put in Yusef. You'll see my YouTube page pop up, and then you can you can see me while I'm teaching this class. Let me get some feedback from everyone. Okay, on YouTube, is my audio coming in okay? Everybody on YouTube, give me a thumbs up if the audio is crisp and clean. Good, 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 good. Okay, cool, cool, cool. I can't believe I got it right the first time. I had to hook up so much stuff. If y'all were to look and see how many cameras, I got 3 cameras. See, I can switch from the cameras. Where's Onita? Where they at? Yeah, I can switch cameras. There's my computer screen. I go to each of the individual cameras. I got so much stuff in here. I'm just experimenting, y'all. Y'all got, I got like a little new toy that I'm playing with. So, you know, okay, cool, cool, cool. All right, yeah, this is tight, man. I'm gonna be able to do some nice stuff with this right here. Some nice stuff. Yeah, I got the chat. I see the chat. I see y'all in the chat. I got the chat. I see the chat. Are you getting your chat? I don't know your chat. I see you. Yeah, I lost a lot of weight. I'm gonna lose a lot more. Trust me. We got our students coming in. We really don't start class till about 10:30. So, I'm just doing all this little preliminary stuff. I'm gonna be practicing, adding music and all that kind of stuff, to make it more of a production. Really liking this right here, man. This is cool. Now the picture quality looks good. Yeah, picture quality is nice. All right. Let me open up the mics on my classroom real quick. Let y'all can I get a mic check from the class real quick? We want to see if everybody in YouTube land can hear you. Y'all want to introduce yourselves?
Brother. Yeah.
All right.
Yeah.
Okay. Anyone else? Can y'all hear them in YouTube? I'm trying to make sure I got my audio right. Everybody on YouTube, y'all can hear the class? All right.
Your sound went out in okay.
Okay. All right. Okay. All right. And everything's good. All right. Everything is patched in and it's looking good. All right. So let me go down here. We're gonna switch real quick. I'm gonna let everybody on YouTube get in. Sounds good. Yes, yes, yes. Loud and clear. Yes, yes, yes. All right. All right. All right. All right. I'm very impressed with myself. I just spent about 2 hours setting all this stuff up. You know, it was I got like 3 Sony 4K cameras. I got about 4 professional lights. I'm on a chroma key. I learned how to use the chroma key. That's how I put the SBC University. I actually got a green screen behind me. Uh, and you know, it's like, okay, this is nice. Figured out how to use everything. It's actually a green screen behind me. Did my green screen nice and clean. All right, okay, all right, got you. If you're in class, just go over to just head on over to my YouTube page so you can actually, watch the class from YouTube today. And I want everybody to take note that this is, if you log into SBC University, this is what the back office looks like. So just in case you're kind of wondering if you've never subscribed to SBC University, there's a ton of resources here. The live recordings for everybody in class, and if you were wondering, I did post the class for the last right here in the archive section. If you go in the archive section, you will see that I posted all of the prior trust classes. I know people are asking me about that. As you can see that they are there. All right. And, you could just click on one and it begins to play like that. All right. Just like that. So the trust classes are uploaded. You do have those. Okay, I want to welcome everyone out tonight. What I've been doing lately, everyone, is I've been talking about trust lately. I've just been really heavily engaged in trust. And tonight I kind of wanted to share with everybody in YouTube land, what goes on in the class. I had somebody on Instagram. They said to me, like, what am I paying for? I got all of this stuff. It's free on the internet. And, and that is true. There's a lot of stuff that's on SBC University that you can find in other places, but a lot of it you can't. And that's not why you're subscribing to SBC University. You're subscribing to SBC University to get access to me teaching live webinars. I've done over hundreds of webinars, everything from GSA bonds to administrative process, to criminal cases, to mortgage foreclosure, and all kind of things. I got an archive section. You're getting personal hands-on teaching, and I try to be here about 4 times a week, teaching class every night from about 10 o'clock. This is what you get for $99 a month. All right. So tonight I'm gonna teach, and I'm gonna let y'all see how we get down at SBC University when it comes to trust. Now, we have been reading a lot of case law on the subject of trust, and let me pull up the resources that we've been using. Let y'all see what that is. All right, and see right here, you can see we have a section on business trust. We have a self-paced course also on here. All right, where you can actually read about trust. And I want to go back again. We got on our download section, we got a lot of PDFs as well, resources on different topics. And right now, today, we're going to be using American jurisprudence on business trust. Now, the reason I like to use American jurisprudence, I want to give a little speech real quick, because I had a guy, he posted something on my page, and it was some bullshit. It was like it was something that he was showing. Oh, that secured party stuff doesn't work, and it wasn't even. The people in court weren't even using anything related to secured party. Let me see if I can find it real quick for you. I mean, it was just hilarious. It was hilarious. Hold on for a second. I'm gonna pull it up. Let's see. hell, man? Let's get my stuff. Right here in the history. Where is this thing at? Where is it? I was just looking at it. Oh yeah, here, arraignment hearing. Now, I want y'all to look at this real quick. I want everybody in class, and then you and YouTube, don't worry. I know the screen is black. I'm gonna put it back. All right. I want y'all now. I want to bring y'all attention to this right here. Okay, some one of these little haters and everything. He sent me this, and I want y'all to I want you to go over and look at what these people be doing. You know what I'm saying? It was like it's just hilarious, and I want him to see this. It was just hilarious. It was an arraignment hearing for a secured party. It didn't have anything to do with secured party. They were going into court and say, do you have a claim against me? And there's someone actually coaching the lady on what to say. She don't even understand what she's saying. And it's a video conferencing. Now, it is this type of ridiculousness and foolishness that serves as a blight on the information that we're trying to convey to everyone out here. It's just ridiculousness. These people aren't even intelligent enough to, just attack me with some good information, with something accurate. Anyone knows who's going into court and has asked questions, how these people respond to it. If you're going to post something, why don't you post something when somebody goes into court and ask these people, according to the Sixth Amendment for the Constitution of the United States of America, okay, I should have a protected right to know the nature and cause of this action. Now, sir, would you please tell this record, okay, is this a criminal or civil action? It is a very simple question, and usually you will get a very simple answer. They will tell you, yes, sir, it is a criminal action. And you say, thank you, sir. Let the record show that the action being brought against the defendant is a criminal action. Now, sir, I have another question for you. The Constitution for the United States of America only grants this court two criminal jurisdictions. One is under the common law, and the other constitutes a condition of contract under criminal aspects of a colorable admiralty jurisdiction. Now, sir, for the record, would you please be so kind as to tell myself and this court under which two of these criminal jurisdictions this court is trying this criminal action? Now, that right there is I said it very distinctly and clearly because I want the bitch ass nigga that's out there hiding his face, posting his shit, to post a video of someone going into court asking a judge or prosecutor that question, okay? I want to get that look on their face. And they're not going to answer the question. The reason I want you to do it is I want you to show how they're going to dodge that question, how creative they're going to get in dodging that question, calling it a statutory jurisdiction or a plethora of other ridiculous ass responses. All right, anything other than what is outlined in the Constitution for the United States of America. Now, I know that you individuals out there, that you are communists, you are Marxists, you are socialists, you are leftists, you are looking for any opportunity to circumvent the Constitution. You don't like people calling themselves sovereign, even though we were called sovereign. The first Supreme Court case, we're called sovereign clear as day. I don't understand, what the problem is. This shit is documented. You look like a damn fool. All right. Everybody has built this information on asking people in court questions that they can't answer. But they want to run people through the judicial system like it's damn McDonald's. Trust me, man, ain't nothing you can tell me about the feds or the state. I done seen them. Anybody who knows who's been tied up with any of those jurisdictions, you go get an attorney, you're not going to get shit. I don't give a fuck if attorney is looking at it. You know that you don't help a single fucking person on a criminal case, asshole. I done looked at hundreds of indictments. Every one of them look exactly the same. All you're going to do is take somebody's $20,000. That's the minimum it costs to get an attorney on a federal case. You're going to get the case. You're going to get him a bond, probably some sort of motion for suppression. He may or may not get the hearing. He's going to lose it any way it goes, and then he's going to go to prison. Or you're going to keep him in, you're going to keep him on the street as long as you can, because if he has a whole bunch of money stashed up somewhere, you're not sending anybody to prison with all that money stashed up. You're going to keep charging him money, and then when he runs out of money, his ass is going to jail. It's the same fucking formula that's been going on for the last 20 years. Same thing. Don't be directing your attention toward me and what I'm saying. Direct your attention to these attorneys. Why don't y'all get together and compare and contrast? Ask these attorneys how many cases they don't want. Why don't you go in there and start asking them, why are you over here fucking with us? Why don't you go and show what kind of defense they have mounted for anybody in a criminal case? Why don't you answer the question, okay, this ain't an equity matter, because equity ain't got a criminal jurisdiction attached to it. It's only common law and admiralty. This is what the Constitution says. Your lies are only going to keep working for so long. Y'all try to act like people are over here. They try to act like people over here teaching something that is that's crazy or something like that, that you have all these 30 years of people that just like the people that you serve, the people in the American public that you serve, that we're some sort of crazy people or something like that. That we're teaching some sort of fringe type doctrine that is nonsensical, okay? When it is simply composed of asking questions that can't get answered. You claim that you're operating under the Constitution for the United States of America, but whenever you're posed with a question that is attached to that particular document, there's a lot of evasive answers. And I understand why, because you're not operating under the Constitution. You're operating provisionally under Article 1, Section 8, Clause 17, under the territorial jurisdiction, which grants plenary power to Congress and the federal government, okay, which allows them, which is administrative in nature. Now, you probably don't even understand what the fuck I'm talking about, but you're going to go and make another video about me. Or what we're saying, what's your opinion on this right here? I want everybody to go over there and watch this. I don't run from anything that y'all throw at me. I want people to go over there and watch it and utilize their own intelligence and see how stupid that shit is. Anyone who is going into court themselves, why do you think this information never dies? Because people go into court and they see the deception that's going on in the court, the corruption that's going on in the court. Nothing gets answered. Somebody just told me the other day that they've been telling people, you go in there and fight a real estate case, you're not winning. No one's winning a real estate case at all. This is what's being said. Anyway, I'm not going to make a soapbox of this for too long, but it's always someone that comes along and tries to make it seem like, that you're crazy. What is this man over here talking about? None of that stuff works in court. It doesn't work or anything like that. Yeah, it works. It works. It's not going to be on the public record. It works. Yes, it works. It works. Is this commercial in nature or not? Every document that I read, it says this something is violating interstate commerce. They was in violation of interstate commerce, which is Article 1, Section 8, Clause 3. When you read this document right here, let me show y'all something real quick. And then we're going to get into our lesson. But let me show y'all something else real quick. We go over our download section. I think it's a reference material. Let's see. Is this it? The Constitution Analysis and Interpretation. All right. I want everybody to get this particular book right here. It's the Constitution Analysis and interpretation. This document right here. I found this in Emory University Law Library, and I went on the internet, and I was so happy to find that they had a PDF electronic version easily accessible on the internet as well. And this particular thing is very, very educational. If you want to understand the Constitution, I would strongly suggest that this is the document you get and read, okay? Because it was put out by the Supreme Court justices. These liberal, left, traitors to the U.S. Constitution and to the people of the Republic. They can't say anything really about it because it's really a good document. These Marxist, communist, socialist individuals out there that are actively engaged in attempting to undermine your private property rights in this country so the government can be in total control and you won't have any private rights, and they will 100% be able to tell you what to do, when to do it, how to do it, where to do it, whatever to do. When you're born, they're going to tell you what you're going to be when you grow up. Everybody going to make the same money. Everybody going to wear the same clothes. This is what these people want. They want all out slavery. And they're attacking your guns right now. They're coming for your guns. They're trying to convince. Biden was on the little Zionist late night. All them late night talk shows are Zionist shows. Every last one of them are liberal Zionist shows. Have him on there trying to reason with the American public as to why they need to give up their gun rights. It's crazy. But anyway, when you get in this document right here, you can see right here where it says, national federalism as a doctrine was proved to be far more pervasive and encompassing than it was possible to notice in 1953. In some respects, of course, later cases only confirm with those decisions the enlargement of national powers of congressional powers under the Commerce Clause. The expansive reading of that clause as authorization to Congress to reach many local incidents of business and production already apparent by 1953 was scarcely enlarged by those decisions movement over a state boundary of some element touching or as a part of a class sufficiently affect interstate commerce as to warrant national regulation. Now that sentence right there is the sentence that you need to commit to memory. Because I'm telling you right now, they have converted almost every aspect of public life into something that is commercial in nature. And they are exercising jurisdiction over it all, especially criminal cases. We know we have a 27 CFR 72.11 that outlines commercial crimes. It's commercial in nature. And they're going to steadily keep trying to tell you, oh, well, why are you trying to use the CUCC? Or why are you trying to use secured party? This fucking idiot, he don't even understand why we using secured party. They could put an attachment lien against your estate, which is your social security number. You want to see this? I'll show you an incident of it here in Georgia, OCGA 1711-1. And this is why, okay, imposition of cost of the prosecution upon the defendant. You can see right here, it says, the cost of prosecution, except the fees of its own witnesses, should not be demanded of a defendant until after trial and conviction. If convicted, judgment may, the word may means must. I'm going to show you that when we get into the case law. Okay, judgment may be entered against the defendant for all costs accruing in the committing in trial courts and by any officer pending the prosecution. The judgment shall be a lien from the date of his arrest on all the property of the defendant. The clerk shall issue an execution on the judgment against the property. That last sentence right there is the reason why the second to last sentence is the reason why we are doing secured party, because they put in a lien against your estate. And anytime you have a lien, that is evidence of a debt, and that means that there's a creditor and debtor relationship that we need to explore. Now, you may not be intelligent enough to understand this, but it's a simple, I can teach my 3-year-old daughter to understand this shit. This ain't no intelligent shit that y'all doing. Let's keep going. Let's look at it even more. Okay, let's go to my website real quick. Let's go back to the website and let's look at our reference material. And we go down. I went to the law. I went to Emory University Law Library and pulled the damn book off the shelf. Pull the book off the shelf. Here it is right here, Official Code of Georgia annotated. Okay, right here. This is the criminal code, this criminal procedure right here. All right, let's get down here. And there it is. This is why you go to the law library too, because you get on the internet, all they got is the law. But right here, we got the case citations to support what's saying right here. All right, now, right here it says, judge has no discretion in the matter of taxing cost. While the word may ordinarily denotes permission and not command, the use of the word in the second sentence of this section cannot be construed to mean that the trial judge is vested with discretion in the matter of taxing the cost against the convicted defendant. Notice that they're using the word taxing, all right? There is no provision of law for the payment of the fees of the officers of the court when the judge in the judge's discretion fails to tax the costs against the convicted defendant. And it cannot be assumed that it was ever intended that the compensation of these officers should rest in the discretion of the judge. Pound versus Faulkner. Okay, so that's one incident right there that you can see right there what the word may means. All right, now when you get a Black's Law Dictionary and look up the word may, you're going to see that it means must. This is another example of why you cannot presume that words in law have the same meaning that it does in everyday parlance. Let's go down here and look a little further and look at something else. All right. And this is the word cost. Cost. Costs are collectible by a FIFE. I heard Gene Keating is the one that first told me about a fieri facias. That's the short, that's short for FIFE. But it stands for fieri facias, and that's Latin, which means you have caused it to be done. You have caused it, you look at the word up. So it says cost in a criminal prosecution are collectible of the defendant by the levy of a FIFE at the termination of the prosecution, if it finally results in the conviction of the defendant. So right here we put in a FIFE, which is a lien against the state of the defendant. Let's look at something else real quick. Let's look at something else that y'all probably didn't know. Cost collectible by levy of a FIFE. Where is that? Would say all your hot dogs and your honey buns and all that shit. See that right there? Cost of feeding a prisoner while prisoner is in prison awaiting trial or part of court costs collectible from the defendant. So while you awaiting trial and you in jail, you thinking all of them damn y'all running to get that food, that slop that they feed you in there is free. It ain't free. They taking that shit out your ass, all right? They taking it out your ass. Ain't nobody ever showed you that. And they taking it out in the form of a lien. Now, how are they leaning up your estate? Well, there's only one way they can lean up your estate. There's only one number that you have representing your estate, and that's your social security number. Why? And the social security number is which it demonstrates that you are a beneficiary, therefore subject to Congress, because they're the ones that issued that number. It's the only number that attaches you to their jurisdiction, the social security number. That's why they always ask you for it. You want a social security number to get a driver's license. You want a social security number to get a passport. You want to keep attaching people to this federal jurisdiction. But you know what? We are slowly deciphering it. I may not see the day when all this change, but I guarantee you that I'm going to trailblaze this and put out enough information so the people that come behind me who are very bright and intelligent and very perceptive and they have their third eye open, they're going to build on what I'm teaching, and we're going to bring this bullshit down that you're doing. Because you going against the creator of the boundless universe, man. This is commercial in nature. The reason you're using secure party, because you're putting a priority perfected lien against your estate before these motherfucking terrorists do it. They out on the prowl trying to put charges on people because that's how they create money. Money is created by creating debt. They put a lien on you, which is evidence of a debt, and they discount it and sell it on the markets. This is why everybody was on Fidelity Mutual website putting in your case number, which is a CUSIP number, a tracking number. We had a Bloomberg screen, and we could see that every case in the United States is being tracked up there on Wall Street. Don't come over my channel fucking with me, man. This is a different channel over here. It ain't people over here speaking gobbledygook and crazy. All right, I'm laying down some stuff to help people analyze this stuff and do their own research. I got a school over here, and I formed this school specifically for the purpose of trying to stop all this ridiculous, like the Southern Poverty Center. They ain't nothing but a whole bunch of liberal Zionists over there as well. Y'all got to start looking at these people who calling y'all sovereign citizens, who they are, making fun of you. Because ain't no word, I ain't seen no word sovereign citizen in any law book. I done seen the word sovereign all over the place. And they try to make you think that your sovereignty is deposited collectively or aggregate in the federal government. You cannot pass on something to the government that you don't possess yourself. We have retained all our sovereign power. But it has to be in our private capacity. And this is why I'm trying to, because the public have rights too. I'm not over here teaching no one-sided thing that all people can do whatever they want to do in the public, that you can run through school zones, that you can shoot people down dead. I'm not over here teaching this, and that you won't be subject to any law. We over here teaching people to read I'm teaching people how to read these books. And your bitch ass ought to be sitting there helping unless you some sort of reptilian or some sort of demon hiding behind a faceless computer screen. Making it your business to try. Who in they right, man? If you don't like what we saying over here, why are you expending so much energy trying to put out videos about it? When I see something on YouTube, I don't want like flat Earth. You don't see me. I think flat Earth is the most ridiculous shit ever, but you don't see me over here making videos trying to debunk it. I don't give a damn. If people want to believe in flat Earth, go on and believe in flat Earth. I'm not going to bother them people. I ain't got no time for that. It don't resonate with me. All right. All right, so let's get back to the subject at hand. Hopefully y'all got some good leads on some stuff to do some study in this information. That's all I want you to do. I want to point you in the right direction. I get some calls from some very intelligent people, and I'm always very happy to see that there are individuals out there who do get it, and we're able to go ahead and conduct further research and expand on the knowledge that they have. But the one thing that I want people to understand first and foremost is that you have to understand the fundamentals. The fundamentals of understanding public and private, the 7 principles of the Constitution. You need to know what separation of powers is very important for you to understand. It's very important for you to understand separation of powers because each of these individual branches of government has their own court system. The legislature have their own court system. That's Article 1, Section 8, Clause 9. The legislature has the ability to constitute tribunals that are inferior to the Supreme Court. And of course, you have the Supreme Court, and then you have military courts. So we need to understand, okay, well, what kind of court are we going into? All of y'all go into the court, and y'all don't even ask the fucking question. You just like sheep to the slaughter. You just think it's all just court. Hell, it's just all a court, man. It ain't all just a court, man. They operate under the presumption that you already know because ignorance of the law is no excuse. So they have a right to already presume that you already know. All right? However, they can't move forward until you get clarification on what's going on. Let me give you a very beautiful statement. Let me give y'all one more thing. I want everybody to write this down. This is a very, very beautiful statement to say when you're in court. Very beautiful statement to say when you're in court. Let's go down to downloads real quick. Let me go down to right to travel. Where the right to travel at? This is coming out of this it's coming out of this document right here. It's right here, right to travel. That's a passport. I'm sorry. Abatement in common law. I love this document by Don Quixote. Right here, abatement of common law. If you got a traffic ticket, if you're going to study right to travel, this is the only document you need. This is the only document you need to study right to travel. You don't need nothing else. If right to travel is your forte and you want to keep really master it, this is the document you want to understand, that you want to read and learn to understand. But it has a real good part in here, and I like the introduction, and this is it right here. All right, when you go into your arraignment, okay, it says, I simply do not understand the nature and cause of this accusation with regard to the elements of personal jurisdiction, venue, and the nature of the action until the prosecution properly alleges them. I'm therefore unable to enter a plea to the charge until I've had an opportunity to raise a meaningful defense against these elements. I cannot rebut an unstated presumption. See, it's an unstated presumption that they're saying. They think that you already know. So, hey, how do you plead? Guilty or not guilty? Well, why can't I just say innocent? I thought I was innocent until proven guilty. If I'm in, where the fuck did not guilty come from? You telling me I'm innocent until proven guilty, but when I come into the court, you want me to say guilty, not guilty. And if I try to say innocent, you got a problem with that. Why you got a problem with me saying innocent? I'm innocent. Y'all got to see the game these people playing, man. Y'all need to wake up. This ain't even no intelligent game. They think everybody's stupid. And I can understand why they think that. They are. Because they've been doing this shit for 50 years and y'all motherfuckers ain't caught on yet. Oh, I'm sorry. Let me put it on the screen real quick again for you. Let me read it again. I'm sorry, I forgot on the internet. Let me say it again. Let me read this again. Let me blow it up for you. This is right here. This is Don Quixote. Let me show you. This is it right here. Don Quixote, School of Law, Common Law Abatement. This right here, the only document you need is on SPC University. You go to our download section and the right to travel section is right there. Or you can just Google it on the internet. You don't have to become a member to get it. It's available for you. All right. But you go down this document at the introduction right here. It has it on page, right here on page what? Page 4. Very beautiful statement. I simply do not understand the nature and cause of the accusation with regard to the elements of personal jurisdiction, venue, and the nature of the action until the prosecution properly alleges them. I'm therefore unable to enter a plea to the charge until I've had an opportunity to raise a meaningful defense against these elements. I cannot rebut an unstated presumption. Okay? That's what you say in your arraignment. All right? Because they operate under the presumption. They presuming that you already know the nature and cause of the action. All right? But you don't know till you say, wait a minute, hold on, man. Hold on, man. What's going on in here? You know, let me ask you a couple of questions. They don't want you asking no questions. And they're doing everything in their power right now to change the procedural elements of what's going on in the court so you can't ask no questions. They're doing everything on. You can instruct the judge to read just tell the judge, Your Honor, would you please direct the prosecutor to read the charges into the record? Your Honor, would you please direct the prosecutor to provide the assessment for the charges along with a certified audit trail of all transactions, including voucher, as well as all disbursement documents and receipts? Do you have a claim against me? Do you know anyone? If they don't answer the question, they demurring, okay? They start talking about something else, or I don't know what you're talking about. Okay, well, do you know anyone who does have a claim against me? I request that the Honorable Judge direct the prosecutor to answer if there are any more charges. I request the Honorable Judge direct the prosecutor to answer whether or not he has the assessment for the charges. We just got through a reading that they put a lien against you. Okay, so where's the assessment for the charges for this lien? All right, write me a bill. Give me a bill. Make a presentment and give it to me. Ain't no goddamn money. All right, it's against public policy for you to require anyone to pay a debt in any particular species of currency. And if they try to say we only take cash, check, or credit card, ask another question. I'm sorry, am I to understand the Honorable Judge is willfully violating public policy? Because my understanding, public policy states that you can't require me to pay because ain't no damn money. Only thing we have in circulation is debt currency. On my Instagram page, I was in the UCC, and the UCC tell you straight up, hey, and under Article 3, ain't none of them debt instruments money. Ain't none of that shit money. Federal Reserve notes not money. It's a medium of exchange, and the only reason it's acceptable because y'all accept it. Anyway. That's a nice way to come back, make a big splash coming back on YouTube, ain't it? I know y'all miss me. It's been a long time since I left you without a strong teaching to step to. Thinking all the weak gurus you slept through, time's up. Sorry I kept you. This is how it should be done. This style is identical to none. Okay. All right. Let's get back. All right, let's get back to class. And wait a minute, hold on. Let me open up the mics for my class real quick. Y'all got any questions on what I was talking about today? I know I kind of diverted away a little bit. Let me open up the mic for my class real quick. Y'all had any questions for my class, for my people in my class?
Peace, brother.
Hey, what's happening?
Yeah. All right. So I was doing a little case, reading a little case law myself today because I was checking out the Bill of Equity approach, right? So I was trying to find a Bill of Equity on STC. I need you to let me know. I see the PDF on it, but I couldn't find an example like the ones in the archives.
Okay, what I would suggest that you do is go and get a Matthew Bender's forms and pleadings. There's a little template in creditors and their bonds. There's a template of one.
Okay.
All right, but what I would suggest people do is go, because I don't have one. I need to get to the law library and get some of those documents. But you have to go
you only went up to number 9 on yours.
Huh?
You only went up to like paragraph 9 when you was doing it in the live webinar joint.
Okay,
you went up to number 9 on that.
Hold on, let me see what you're talking about right here. Hold on, let me let everybody tune in so they can see what we talking about. All right, so right here, all right, you're talking about where is it? All right, you go right here, creditors and their bonds. And we go, this is like a template. It can be fleshed out. When I say fleshed out, meaning that you can add a lot of stuff to it. It's like a little template.
Right.
All right.
Right.
But it helps you establish the necessary elements that need to be included in your document. So
yeah, because I was doing my own digging today, man. So I was looking at
right here. Bill and equity. Jurisdiction in this matter is hereby granted. Okay, this top part right here is the caption of your pleading. Okay, that's the U.S. District Court. They have them different for different jurisdictions. You need to, if you're going to be putting in court documents, you need to know how to do a caption of a pleading on your legal papers. All right, you need to know what that means. All right, most of the time y'all come to me talking about the clerk won't file your documents. Most of the time it's because the form of the document is incorrect. The clerks are not concerning themselves with the contents of your document. That's for the judge and the court to decide. More times than not, okay, but you don't know how to put together the caption of the pleading. Put together that properly, okay, and then you have jurisdiction and venue, who are the parties, the facts, all right, and then we also have the claims and the release sought. Okay, and those can be fleshed out. It is an equitable jurisdiction. You are invoking equity. You're taking it out of their statutory jurisdiction because you're a private American citizen. And when we engage in contracts, so prior to you even putting together this right here, you should have conducted an administrative process that is going to result in an agreement. Okay, so when we go into court, there's already an agreement. when there's what they call a stipulation of the facts have been stipulated to. If the facts are not all stipulated to, then that means there's going to be some sort of jury trial or a bench trial that's going to ensue, all right, before a fact finder, which is a judge, or a jury trial. Those are fact finders or fact triers. Okay, so you got to understand it. So we're going into equity court. All right, once you default them out with the use of a notary and certified mail of the post office, that constitutes a stipulation or an agreement. Now we're going to seek relief through an equity court, a court of equity, not a statutory court. Because equity is how God judges us. God judges us under equity. And these judges, they are supposed to be priests. Because the original judges was the Levitical priesthood, which is why they wear those robes.
Right. All right, so check it. So Yusef, so I was doing it the way that you explained it. Like put the cart before the horse, start out with what your end game is and work from there.
Okay.
Right? So now with this bill of equity, no, go back down a little bit for me, please. That bill of equity right there that you were just showing, when you show legal claims. So being that this is a private action, like you're saying, it's an equity court. Would you not put the statutes right there in the legal claim part?
No, you don't need any statutes whatsoever. None. You don't need everything we're doing is through contract. You don't need any statutes at all. No, this is an equity court. It's not any statute. This is equity. We don't have statutes. It's not a statutory jurisdiction. This is an equitable matter. Plaintiff is entitled to relief in this equitable claim. Defendant is estopped for failure to respond to the original administrative process. Okay, estoppel is an equitable remedy. They're stopped from doing something. Plaintiff has placed the facts and law before this honorable court. The facts and the law, it's your duty to put the facts and the law. Okay, you have to provide them with the law as well. Okay, plaintiff has exhausted administrative remedy and comes to this court of equity with clean hands. Clean hands and good faith are two of the fundamental things that must be present if you're seeking equitable relief. There is a principle of equity. To get equity, you must do equity. Clean hands, that's a legal term. That's an equitable term. Clean hands and good faith is an equitable term. The C exhibits ABC. Exhibit A is going to be your first correspondence. The notice of acceptance. Your second B is going to be notice of acceptance, failure to respond. Okay, and C is going to be your certificate of non-response.
Right.
And then you also, what I would add is your green card that came back in the mail. Okay, to show that you mailed all these out. I'd have that put into evidence as well. I'd have the notary record book present. I'd get everything I have. The notary.
Listen. I'm telling you, I'm getting all my stuff together. But before I put it in, I'm gonna do a consult with you, man. I'm gonna do a paid consult.
Okay, that's cool.
One question before everybody else jump on. This is the only thing I'm gonna ask you because all right. So now the class has been on. Like this last week or so, we've been doing the trust class. I have a pretty good idea of what the purpose of the trust is, but I'll be honest with you, totally not clear on it, right? So because I signed up for SPC because of me watching all the YouTube videos, watched like 97% of the YouTube videos. But it's kind of, it's been kind of disjointed for me, right? So this is what I want to ask you. At one time, can you pick a date, even if it's in the middle of the trust class, if you pick one date where you kind of where you go from start to finish on what the entire purpose, where you don't even have to break down because you usually you'll start going into the law and you'll show why you'll do this part of the administrative process and why you will do this part of the secured party process. Why you would do this part of trust, but when you would take it, because I've never caught it, like from out of all your videos, I've never caught like from the beginning to the end what the entire purpose is, right? And you don't even have to go through like all of the laws and all that, but just give the framework of what the purpose is? Because I know the trust is at the end.
Well, trust.
That's what
well, you need to understand trust because everything around you is involving some sort of trust, whether it be a constructive trust, an implied trust, a resultant trust,
right.
A irrevocable trust, a revocable trust. There's all kinds of trusts that are in existence, and you need to understand how to operate a trust in order to protect yourself against these people. You're trying to remove yourself from their jurisdiction. And one of the first things you have to learn how to do is stop using that social security number for everything. The social security number is a voluntary number. You don't have to have a social security number. But it is in today's world where everybody has been acclimated to being a dependent on the government and government benefits. That requires a skill to learn how to operate privately. And one of the ways to start learning how to do that process is learning how to utilize a private trust, all right, to protect your assets, own nothing, and control everything. And there are different levels to it. You're going to have people who are very wealthy, who they can operate in the private because they have the resources to do so. They can create them a compound. They can put up solar panels. They can dig a well and get their water from under the ground. Okay, they have the electricity from the sun. All right, they can put up a wall and then they can grow their own food. Okay, there are people who are doing this right now. There are people already doing this. Okay, who private, they're off the grid. Getting off the grid. Right. These people are trying to bring in, let me show you something, y'all, since y'all are looking real quick. Let me show y'all something else. Let's go back to this real quick. I just love how, I got the tools I need to teach now. I love how I can switch back and forth and go to different documents and everything. I'm just loving this. All right, right here, we're going to go to, we got, what section is this? Right. Oh, yeah, under conspiracy. Let's read. I don't know why people don't read this. Read the Communist Manifesto. Because that's what these people are. I'm trying to tell y'all. That's what these people are communists. Communists have been trying to invade this country for the longest. You go back and you see all the people and everything in history and everything. We've been battling against these people, trying to encroach upon the republic for the longest. And now they got control of the media. They trying to turn they promoting feminism and lesbianism and gays and all that kind of stuff right there because that's population control, as well as the fact they're trying to neuter all the men, emasculate all the men. All right, so there will be no providers and protectors. The provider and protector that they want is the government. They don't want none of you men out there to be providers and protectors. You're supposed to be providing and protecting for your own damn family. We're in a free country. We're in a free country. That means that you can raise your own children. You can educate your children. You don't need nothing from these people. This is how this country was built. But they're trying to circumvent all of that and bring in I didn't understand it when I was younger. And a lot of y'all probably still don't understand it. But I'm understanding it right now. Let's look at it right now. Control F.
Hey, Yusef.
Hold on.
I'm sorry.
I don't want to lose my thought on this right quick because this is important. Now pay attention. What these people are doing. Okay, right here, let's read this. This is Karl Marx, Communist Manifesto on page 42. These people tell you what communism is right here. They tell you right here. All right? The distinguishing feature of communism is not the abolition of property generally, but the abolition of bourgeois property, okay, meaning the wealthy class. But modern bourgeois private property is the final and most complete expression of the system of producing and appropriating products that is based on class antagonisms, on the exploitation of the many by the few, victim mentality, totally contrary to the laws of nature and the law of attraction. Okay, you are the one that attract into your life any circumstance that you are going through. You are the God. There are no victims. If you want to see a victim, then look in the mirror. And it says, in this sense, the theory of communists may be summed up in the single sentence, abolition of private property. The Constitution protects private property. So they are actively going in to undermine the Constitution for the United States of America. These people are traitors to the Republic. And y'all sitting here and don't even understand what's going on. If you're a Democrat, you are a traitor. You can talk about Trump all you want to. This don't have nothing to do with Donald Trump. This has something to do with the fact that your ignorant ass ain't read the Constitution for the United States. You don't know what country you live in. You don't understand the responsibilities of freedom. You don't understand natural law. You're a damn atheist because you ain't read nothing that the Bible got to say. Because the laws in this country are based off the Bible and Blackstone commentaries coming from England.
Man. Hey, Yusef.
Go ahead.
Yeah.
Hey, man, it's Mark Gordon, man. How you doing? Hey, Yusef, I want to give you a rest for a minute, man. I just got to tell you, man, that I'm over here, I feel I got adrenaline running listening to you, man, and I miss you, man. I tell you, I pay homage to you forever and ever, man. You made me the man who I am today, and there's not a time that I ain't listen to your videos or watch something or listen to you live or be in a class with you that I don't walk away learning. I got some big shit coming up. You started spilling again on the topic. If you gave me some stuff in that I need to put in that, I'm about to bring it down on the case. I'm gonna close the whole thing down. You know what I'm saying? I got all the paperwork right in front of me. But damn, Yusef, I gotta tell you, man, I learned so much from you, and I always want to say to you, man, that I'm proud to be. I'm a lifetime member. I'll never stop paying you. Never stop being a member of SPC. Let's make sure that you keep this thing open. And I want to say something to you, my brother. Fuck those motherfuckers that come against you and all that shit. Don't even feed them. Don't even give them motherfuckers no problem. Because I'll tell you what, you're a necessary person in our lives, man. You touched my life greatly. You changed my family's life because of what I learned from you. You don't ever stop. The baddest educator in your family is you, man. You heard?
I appreciate it. Man, it ain't that I let them get to me. It's just that the reason I started SPC University, man, was because, you know, it was like I was watching all of these anti-sovereigns and people calling people sovereign citizen fail, these videos on YouTube. And, you know, they always would pick individuals and try to make them look stupid. And I'm like, look, man, there's a lot of credence to all of this information. I don't know why these people are, you know, and then I started doing further research and I started to find that a lot of these people who are making these videos, they liberals. They liberals, you know, because you calling yourself a sovereign is a direct threat to communism. Communism and socialism, they ain't trying to hear you trying to talking about you a damn sovereign, independent person, you know, that you free and all this kind of stuff right here. That's not a part of the New World Order. They bringing in a New World Order. The New World Order is going to be based off of communism and socialism. And these people, and they have food with all these liberal colleges all around the country that have been dominating all of your children and everything, poisoning their minds with this doctrine, and they don't even understand what's going on. They're making them feel like they victims. Oh, you homophobic. Oh, you know, the lesbian, the feminists or the women, they've been oppressed. You know, it's not equality or something like that. Thank God shout out to Jordan Peterson. Man, it's people like Jordan Peterson, Kevin Samuels when he was alive. You know, these are divinely sent people to come in and do battle against this ridiculousness. Yo, women out of control. Yo, black women out of control.
You forgot to mention Yusef as well. But let me tell you something, Yusef. You broke down so much things to me that you made me have to say, motherfucker, you heard what that man just said? So you have to ask yourself, are you living in the truth or you living in a comfort zone that you just been taught this shit and that's, you know, what your people do? But no, you have to ask yourself, what is the truth? You have to seek the truth. And I'm telling you, Yusef, I've learned there's never a time where I don't listen to your voice speak and I don't learn some shit. I'll tell anybody right here listening now with an ear, this man is not a guru. This is not no guru station. This man will fucking teach you the tools you need to defend yourself in life, and he'll open your mind up in every aspect. Ask this man any question you got in your head about religion. He doesn't read them all. And he's going to tell you one thing, and I learned something from Yusef, and I'm a good reader now. You always use saying, if you don't read, this shit ain't for you. Back this shit up. You got to read your stuff. But I'm saying,
Yeah, go ahead, brother. That's absolutely correct. And that's what I was saying. You know, I was looking at that's why I started SBC University, because I felt like if people learn the fundamentals, if you start with the fundamentals and build from there, and they get a solid understanding of the information, they get a solid understanding of what their rights are, they actually read the Constitution, understand its applicability, understand the distinction between public and private, because the public does have rights. Okay, we can read administrative law, which I would suggest people do out of American jurisprudence if you want to get an understanding of what rights the public does have. And when I say public, public means government. When they use the word public, they ain't talking about you. They're talking about the government. That's what the word public means, government. Private means you, all right? You. But public is anything that the government is funding or anything that the government has jurisdiction over. That's the public. The private, if they want to come into the private, they have to have a compelling public interest. They have to perform the courts are going to perform a compelling public interest test to see whether or not the government was justified in encroaching on your private rights. They have to have a good goddamn reason, and that's why the Constitution says that there can be no unreasonable search and seizures. Okay, there are exceptions to it. You need to know the exceptions. Private property cannot be taken without due process of law and just compensation. And you cannot infringe on the obligation of contracts. Those are all constitutional protections against an encroachment from the government on your private rights, the most powerful of which is your right to contract unlimited. But they're using it all against you. These people are intelligent. It's that they have, over the years, every time they lose in court, they go back to the drawing board, and based off of what they just lost, they amend whatever it is they're trying to do. And this has accumulated over the last 100 years, which has reached this point right now that they've already mastered the point of poisoning the minds of the people and learning how to circumvent the Constitution. They ain't do it illegally. I'm not. They didn't. All of this
I already learned that from you.
Yeah, they've been able to do this through the voluntary consent of the people. That's why the next thing they try to do is get you to voluntarily give up your guns. When guns were put in place to protect you against the government.
Of course, man. And it says your right shouldn't be infringed by you can't get a felony and then you can't have a gun. That's bullshit, because it said that your right to bear arms cannot be infringed. But these motherfuckers, you know what they are.
What they did, let me tell you how they circumvented that. You're absolutely right. You have the right to bear arms, but they call it a firearm. And what it is they converted it into a commercial item. Okay, there's a serial number on it. It's being produced by a corporation that is incorporated under the authority of the federal government. So it's their property. They're regulating it. It's being regulated by them. You know, you can have an arm, but you go and make your own. Figure out some invention and make it yourself, like a laser or something like that. I don't know.
I remember one thing I learned from you. You showed us this. You said, but you know, at the end of the day, when all these motherfuckers are going to come, because you taught me how to read case law. You said there's always going to be this thing, and they're going to tell you, this shit was made in Illinois. You got hung up in New York. That's it. You know what I'm saying?
That's exactly right. That's why they're going to get you with an interstate commerce charge. Y'all better start paying attention to what I'm saying. All this stuff is about interstate commerce. Interstate commerce. Read your indictments. Y'all read your indictments and find that word interstate commerce in there. Read them.
Hey, Yusef.
Go ahead.
Yusef. Yeah, and then up here in New Jersey, they're trying to find ways to detect people ghost guns and actually get them charges.
They're trying to do what? Jersey,
with the ghost guns, they call them ghost guns, but it's basically, you know, a privately assembled firearm at the house. You know, we got the $3.
But you brought the beaches with interstate commerce. You know what I'm saying? Break it down to Yusef.
Exactly. So now what they're trying to do is they're trying to, you know, find ways to trace people's guns. But I'm like, hey, y'all getting these machines.
No, but that's nothing new. Yusef broke that down. That ain't nothing new. That shit is old. I learned it through this man right here. He said, you know what you're going to find in that case? If you read the case law, he's going to go, you're going to find interstate commerce. And that's the baddest shit, one of the baddest shit. Fuck, man, you got millions.
Yeah, of course, they getting all, they have to get their stuff assembled. I mean, they don't have their own position to make their own machines and own plastics.
If you order that shit by mail, Yusef showed me that if that shit is made in Illinois and you live in Jersey, that's all they need. Them niggas will hit me up on that.
Yeah.
Exactly. Yep, exactly.
From Yusef.
And that's why, listen, y'all, this is all about the creation of money, the creation of money, because money today is debt. Debt is being used as money. So everybody's trying to create money. When you look at the word charge, let me show y'all something real quick. Let me show y'all something. All right, you go over to SPC University. You know, we got a lot of resources on SPC.
I got a lot of remembrance on. You got me shaking, Yusef. I'm gonna just mute my mic, man. Let you go, man. I'm gonna watch you, man. I'm smiling over here. God bless you.
You go over here.
I'm back out.
You go over here, and you're gonna see that we got dictionaries over here. So I got a lot of dictionaries. You see at SPC University, we have a collection of dictionaries. Bureau, Bouvier's. Let's go to Black's. I always use Black's 8. Don't ask me why I use Black's 8. It was just, you know, that's the first Black's Law dictionary I've ever got, and you know, it's my favorite one. And you know, it's my favorite color. My favorite color is black, and it's a black one. But let's go over here and let's look at the word charge. That's another thing. The first thing I did when I started learning all this information was I started looking up the definition of all the words I thought I knew the definition of. Like I thought I knew what a charge was. A lot of you do too, because, you know, dudes on the street who hustle, they say it all the time, man, you gonna catch a charge and everything. Ain't none of them niggas know what a charge is. They think they know what it is. Make sure you see your homies on the street. You showing them this video. Make sure they show them. You niggas out there selling dope and all this kind of shit right here. Doing stupid shit. You selling dope right now, you crazy. That's crazy, man. You need to be learning a skill. You only have to master one thing to make some money, man. Stop being lazy. Stop allowing these people. If I actually got into the judicial system, you would be in shock at the amount of people that's being shipped through the judicial system. Like cattle.
It's fucked up, man.
Let's get a lot of them is their fault though. You know, they want to go out there and push poison and do stuff like that. You know what I'm saying? You know the consequences.
How generous that is. But I'm gonna just tell you, in actuality, remember the time when you busted out? You said, "Man, Mark, in the 1800s." I mean, you said in the class, you busted out this clipping that showed what the average, I think, what was it, 8th grader knew common knowledge, as opposed to what we knew. Remember that time you busted that out? And what was on that newspaper clipping was shit that people would have to research for days to try to get, and it was common knowledge back then. But this is what they do. They're dumbing down of people who came through public school. It's all a plan. We live in a system, Yusef, that's against us. You understand what I'm saying? You know what I'm talking about. These motherfuckers trying to kill us.
Yeah, somebody tried to take an 8th grade text from the late 1900s or the late 1800s up to today. Most college students probably wouldn't be able to pass it. That's how much you've been dumbed down. Charlotte Isserbite, she worked for the Department of Education with the federal government, and she was a whistleblower. She's been coming out. She's on YouTube. Won't nobody look at it, though. You know, won't nobody watch these things. These are the things I watch. This is how I get my information. I go over and listen to these people, and I go back and do the research on, you know, like David Wynn Miller. He talking about, you know, the syntax grammar, and I went back in all the way to late 1800s, and they were talking about how they were dumbing down people with the grammar back then. And most of these people today, they don't know any grammar, especially some of these gurus and everything. That's why you have all this misinformation flying around, because people don't respect grammar, and they have to understand. Look at your children. Your children, they can't even fucking write. Most of these people, they don't even know to fucking capitalize a letter at the beginning of a fucking sentence.
That's just horrible, B. I understand that. And I know, I remember.
I see it all over the place.
That should make a motherfucker like me tighten up on my punctuations and all my shit, you know what I'm saying?
And that's okay. I'm not claiming that I'm a master of grammar. But you should know some fundamental things like a proper noun and a common noun. Like, so when I read the Constitution, and after the 14th Amendment, everywhere I see the word citizen, it's a small c. And then before the 14th Amendment, everywhere I see the word citizen, it's with a capital C. And some fool gonna come forward and say that don't matter. Grammar is another language in itself.
I know it. I know what you mean.
Let me read this to you real quick. Let me read this quick. It says, what is a charge? A formal accusation of an offense as a preliminary step to a prosecution. That's the one everybody's familiar with. That's sense 1. Sense 2, an instruction or command. That's sense 2. Sense 3, a jury charge. Review the charge for appealable error. And number 4, an assigned duty or task or responsibility, like when you've been charged with a duty. And number 5, this is the one that they're hitting you with, the commercial definition. An encumbrance, lien, or claim. So when somebody says, do you have a claim against me? And this old idiot, he just posted this video. He remember this video I was just showing you on YouTube at the beginning? He talking about, yeah, Yusef, what you think about this? Somebody going into court, and this lady on there talking about, do you have a claim against me? And she don't know what the fuck she's saying. A charge is a claim, but it's a lien.
I know it. Yep.
They want to put
interesting things, man. I learned.
They trying to put liens against everybody because a lien is evidence of a debt. That's the creation of money, man. Traffic tickets, criminal charges, all of that. The court is a bank. They are creating money.
Yep.
Hey, Yusef.
I learned from you, man.
Go ahead.
Hey, yeah, I just wanted to kind of reiterate what he said about you putting everything together, because I was in the Ron Paul stuff back in like 2007, 2008, and was involved with Liberty Dollar trying to get people to use silver, and I had this lady drop Cracking the Code 3rd edition in my lap, the actual book. And I started reading through that, and I actually had a court date around that time where I started using the copyright in court, and I noticed how they acted differently. He was taking a long time typing and having like a conversation on his laptop right after my case. And when I came back, they emptied out the whole courtroom and everything first before I even got to go up. So I kind of sensed something was going on, but I didn't really know what I was doing yet. And you've really put everything, all these different things that I've read over the years that I didn't really quite put together. I've been able to put it together a lot more. But I was curious. I really kind of wanted to pick your brain here a little bit, because I sent you a link to a hearing, and my sister, she's brand new to this stuff. She's like brand new. She just started learning this stuff like a month ago. And she had a remote hearing. So I was trying to help her. She was able to mute her mic, and I would like tell her what to say, and you kind of busted my balls over telling her what to say. So I was kind of curious what you thought about that hearing.
I'm wondering if that was the hearing that you sent to me. I thought it was somebody sent it to me from that sounded like the one that I was just talking about. But I'm gonna tell you what I think about it. First of all, let me just say this about this information. Okay, when I first did this information, I only got 3 months of study in. I didn't have no help or nothing like that. I had about 3 months of study. I was studying every day feverishly because I had a court date coming up, and it was an arraignment. It was an arraignment where, you come in and you plead guilty, innocent, or whatever. They hadn't indicted me yet or anything like that. Here in Georgia, we have 90 days. They can hold you 90 days without indicting you. And then they had to put in an indictment or release. So I was being held without an indictment or anything like that, with just basically a warrant. I was in jail, in county jail, reading creditors and their bonds, and I had dealing with presentments. In chapter 4 of dealing with presentments, it has the verbiage for you of what to say in court. But anyway, I'm reading all of this stuff and I'm studying it. It's a lot of things I didn't understand. I memorized everything that I was supposed to say in court, but I was saying things in court and I didn't know what a hold and due course was. I didn't know what UCC 3-302 meant. I didn't understand what a UCC 3-305 and UCC 3-306 meant, claims to an instrument and claims and recoupment. I didn't understand what UCC 1-308, which used to be UCC 1-207. I didn't know what that means, reservation of rights. I didn't understand all that stuff. I was slowly trying to understand it. So I understand when they come into this information, but if you're looking for it as a quick fix, now I give people their props for attempting to do it, because anytime you attempt to assert yourself, you are successful. Even if you lose, or what appears to be law, because you only lose when you give up, when you're dealing with the judicial system. But even when you're successful, when you go in there and you assert yourself, because 95% of the people are going to be sheep, and they're just going to do what the fuck they're told, and then come back and try to talk about you for standing up and holding your nuts in your hand and try to protect and defend yourself. Try to make you look foolish.
Part of it.
Huh?
Part of it was like, because I think I've got my head wrapped around pretty good because I knew about the straw man even back in like 2007. That's why when I went up in court, I said that you were using my copyrighted property. And he goes, "You think you can get out of this by the way your name's spelled?"
Well, you got to give. First of all, you got to give prior notice before you're going to use a copyright. If you read a crack in the code, it tell you there you got to be very careful in introducing.
I published it. I had it published and everything. So I didn't really know how to follow through with it. I mean, this is like I said, I'd only just started.
How you follow through with something like that is you got to know how to put liens on public officials. See, the whole thing with copyrighting your property is first and foremost you got to give sufficient notice. That's UCC 1-202. Okay, you got to give sufficient notice. Every step of putting a lien is notice. They do that. If you want to study how liens are brought, study the IRS. They're the most professional people at putting liens than anybody on the planet. Okay, but that is what you do. You got to give sufficient notice. Now, the creditors in your bonds has an excellent procedure for putting a lien on a person in the first section. That's showing you how to put a lien on a person, giving them notice, because you got to be able to enforce. Then you got to be able to enforce your lien through self-help. So there's so many things that you have to do on your own. There is a video on YouTube of an individual who had Bank of America. He put a lien on their ass and went in there and took all they stuff out. It's on YouTube. So don't act like it's not possible. It's possible if you know what you're doing. But they hide all that information from people and don't make it readily accessible to the general public. They don't want you to know that information. But we're in the commerce game. This is commercia belli. This is the commerce of war. Okay? So you got to learn, if in this particular game, your weapons are liens. Everybody's using liens. The whole name of the game is liens. They trying to put a lien on you, and you got to learn how to put a lien on them because there isn't any money, which is gold and silver, so everybody's using debt paper as money, so they're trying to create a debt on everybody. They're trying to put a lien on everybody. They're making people debtors. But it's only their straw man because they're in the public. You're a private American citizen. You're a real flesh and blood soul. You're not a legal fiction entity. You're not a corporation. You know what I'm saying? But they can presume that you are because they operate on presumptions, assumptions, and color of law. And you've been acting like you were. You've been acting like the all caps name is you. You've been using the social security number. You've been using your driver's license. You've been putting your kids in public school. You've been taking welfare. You've been taking PPP loans. What the fuck you mean you ain't in the public? That's what they thinking.
I haven't used it. I haven't used it social in 12, 13 years now, but my sister, she kind of jumped the gun. She was driving without a driver's license, but she had her common law copyright all done and published and everything, right? And she had it in her car with her in a plastic doodad. And when the cop came out, she got him on tape, taking it from her, and then he crumpled it up. And I said, he accepted it from you. It's a security agreement, so we're sending him a notice.
He crumpled it up.
Billing him. I haven't called the sergeant. With that?
He crumpled it up. How you gonna crumble somebody's paperwork up?
Yeah, the cop did. He's on camera crumpling up her paperwork.
I put some charge. I put a lien on his ass for that. See, the thing about it is that.
Well, yeah, we're going to, but here's the thing. She still kind of knew this. So when we went to court, I had her trying to read, the regular script. I'm a holder in two courts here as a third party intervener, the whole deal. And he kept interrupting. That was the first thing.
That's one of the things they do. And when they do that, you say, "Sir, would you kindly give me the same courtesy that I'm extending to this court? I'm attempting to make a record for appellate purposes, and I'm not able to do that if you keep on interrupting me. So would you please allow me to make my record? And then when we get through, we can have a discussion on the points of what I put on the record. Just something like that."
Well, there was a point they shifted it onto the public defenders. I hadn't even been appointed yet. There's just some lady in the courtroom, and she told her to shut up. Like,
somebody tells somebody to shut up. You say, you always ask a question. Am I to understand the honorable judge has made a judicial determination that I'm not to be afforded my due process rights of freedom of speech in these proceedings? For the record, ma'am.
She did that, and they came back and they're like, "Oh, you're going to be allowed to talk to her." And another thing she did, she asked
you don't tell me to shut up, though.
Name.
You don't tell me to shut up.
She asked for,
you don't tell me to shut up.
She asked for the judge's name, and Right. She asked for the judge's name, and he kept trying to dodge. He's like, "This isn't my hearing. This is your hearing." And so I finally, I told her, I go, I gave her kind of a script while she had it muted. I say, say for the record, the judge is refusing to give me his name. And he came back like 2 sentences later, like, "And for the record, I did not refuse to give my name." And he straight up gave the name without the judge title, crap, or any of that. But so that kind of woke her up a little bit, like, "Oh, I do have some power here."
Yeah, that's the first, and see, that's all that's happening. Your first time trying to do this, all you are trying to discover that something is going on. Like, God damn, that's what the first thing, man, you're like, damn, they cleared out the courtroom. They don't know what, won't nobody see what I'm finna do. They don't want other sheep to get encouraged by the fact that people are coming in asserting their rights. All right, they want to keep everybody operating like they in fast food line. Here's your order, here are your charges, accept your charges, and take your ass to jail and don't say shit. Oh, you got an attorney? Oh, well, it's too late. Now you're in jail. Now you want to come back to court and try to appeal their decision based off of insufficient assistance of counsel or something like that. Because you found out your attorney didn't do what he was supposed to do. That's the number one thing everybody in jail trying to do. They get in jail, and then all of a sudden they become legal experts, and they find out their attorney fucked them. Y'all need to put together, what somebody need to do is put together a website, and then let people come in with the name of their attorney that they used and the jurisdiction that was in, and let's start rating these attorneys, and let's see what they did, okay, and rate them and say, how did this attorney? That's what you need. You need a website where everybody can go, where attorneys are rated, and we can see, okay, in all 50 states, and say, okay, well, what his win record is. How many cases you done won? What'd you do for this person? What paperwork did you file? What objections did you make in court? That's one of the big things, all right? They don't object, and you don't know how to object. So you don't know when they're supposed to object.
Yeah, that's where I was having a problem, because we were just kind of letting them talk sometimes. But then, they would, on these remote hearings, I think they mute you sometimes too. So
they're getting more and more. They get more and more control. But the thing about it is, they can mute you. But when it's your time to speak, first thing before you say anything, you go into court, you ask, "Are we on the record? And will I be provided a stenograph? Will I be able to obtain a stenographic copy of these proceedings for appellate purposes? Because there's undoubtedly going to be a need for me to appeal. So I need a stenographic record of these proceedings for appellate purposes." When you go into court, you're not speaking to the judge, you're speaking to the record. That's something else everybody got fucked up. They going in the courtroom, they trying to talk to the judge. You're not talking to the judge, everything's for the record, motherfucker. Because if you can't get a remedy on this level, you have the right to take it to another level, all the way up to the Supreme Court. Now, I'd love a Supreme Court justice to air out a judge if something appear on the record, he telling somebody to shut up.
We got it on YouTube.
I mean, a lot of these judges, they don't know what they be doing telling somebody to shut up, man. These people acting like they gods, man. Y'all are administrators. You're not even a real judge. You have a ministerial duty to perform. You know who you are. You're not no Article 3 judges.
Well, he was letting the public defender do his dirty work for him. So she was doing the shut up and bossing around.
She's just a referee. She's supposed to be a referee. She's supposed to be an unbiased arbiter in a dispute between two opposing parties. They fall right under the Judicial Code of Conduct, which everybody should have read. You should have a copy of the Judicial Code of Conduct under your arm when you come into the courtroom. I did when I went in. Anyway, let somebody else ask some questions. My thing is, when you're new, hey, if you're doing it and you're earnest about what you're doing, you're probably gonna. It's just like the movie The Matrix. You make the first jump. Most people don't make the first jump. But what's going to happen is your eyes are going to be open. And you're going to see that something is going on. You're going to feel it. You're going to know they're afraid. Something is going on. That's what you're going to find out. That's all I want to get everybody to that point right there. Because once everybody gets to the point something ain't right, now we can raise these issues. Everybody can say, hey man, look, what's going on with the criminal justice system, man? And these traffic tickets and all this kind of stuff. Well, why y'all stealing people's money? Why I work all week and I make $1,000 and you pull me over and give me a ticket and you charge me $500, didn't you just steal 20 hours of my labor? If I work 40 hours a week for $1,000 and you give me a traffic ticket and it's $500, didn't you just steal 20 hours of my life?
Yep.
What the fuck you mean? You don't think I'm gonna come in court and try something like this so I can keep my heart? That's my labor you after. That's why we doing the secure party process, to protect my labor. I'm not your goddamn slave.
So
I just like to hear you pick through that video and put some commentary on it just to see what you think. I'd love to hear what you think about.
All right, I get it. Put it. Send it to me. I'll make a video off of it. And I'll put it out. Yeah, man, send it to me. I'll do the commentary on it.
There's one part where they said told her to stop interrupting, and I you can hear me on the side going, interrupt him again.
Yeah, they interrupt. That's one of the little tactics. When you go and read a document, it's called Court Survival Guide. They talk about in there how to address that. That's the tactics that they use is the same tactics they've been using for decades for people coming to the court, interrupting you. You know, if you go in that Moors in court video on YouTube, some of y'all probably familiar with, those two brothers, that's one of the tactics they were using in that. The two things with that was they kept on interrupting them, and then the two brothers, they didn't really know how to object. You know, you got to understand when you form an objection, you got to wait for them to say sustained or overruled. If they don't say that, then you form an exception. I take exception to the honorable judge refusing to rule on my objection. Will you please enter sustained or overruled into the record so I can preserve the error? It's reversible error if you let hearsay evidence into the record over my objection. You only have so much discretion that you can exercise in matters. But if it's clear this is hearsay and I want to object to it, and then you're going to try to play me, like give some sort of equivocal ruling on it, and yeah, you know what I'm saying? You gotta make a record. If you don't know how to object, then it's gonna look like you acquiesced on the record and you agree with what they're doing.
I try to make it so that you're not following any of their directives. And so when he told my sister to stop interrupting, I wanted to make it on the record that she was going to keep interrupting and get her word in. Because I think that was that time when she was trying to get his name. And he kept telling him to stop interrupting, or either that, or she was trying to say that she was not disputing the facts, or something along those lines. And he kept telling her, "Stop interrupting." And I said, "Go interrupt him again."
Don't be rude. I'm not. First of all, be a gentleman. This is a gentleman's game. You know, it's like when you go into the courtroom. Really, you should be dressed appropriately. You know, I tell everybody that dress appropriately and conduct yourself. You know, when you hear me respond to things, it's in a professional manner. You know what I'm saying? I'm not going in there cussing out nobody. I'm not calling people crazy and things like that. You know the law. Understand what the facts are. Get your facts on the record. Get your evidence. You have to have evidence. Evidence on the record. Get it on the record. What's your evidence? You know, these are things that we got to learn how to do, man. You know, because when you get an attorney, as it says in Corpus Juris Secundii, his first duty is to the court. It's not to you. And it's prima facie evidence that you're incompetent in some shape, form, or fashion. All right, hey, y'all, let me
right.
Okay, hold on. Let me say, what time is it? It's 11:47. All right, I want to say this to everybody. All right, because I'm gonna get back on tomorrow. Okay, so I ran it tonight. Hopefully that y'all learned some stuff. I'm taking no more questions right now, but I want y'all to understand something. All right. You got to put in a study with this, man. This is not some cookie cutter type thing where you just you say the magic, go into court and say the magic words and you're gonna automatically be free. You know, freedom has to be in your essence of your being, all right, and that is in knowledge. You know, those who hope to be, and Thomas Jefferson said it beautifully. Those who hope to be both ignorant and free are hoping for something that never has been and never will be. There's never been a time in history where people are ignorant and free, all right? You have to know your rights. If you don't know your rights, you have none. You have none. Read Silent Weapons for Quiet Wars. Under energy, what he says, those who refuse to use their brain are stakes on the table by choice and consent. Those who refuse to use their brain are stakes on the table by choice and consent. And there's another maxim of law. Those who can be fooled, let them. Rest in peace, Jordan Maxwell. Anyway, that's it for me tonight. I want to thank everybody for listening tonight. I'll be on tomorrow. This is how we get down at SPC University. All right. So I just wanted y'all to see behind the scenes. If you're wondering what goes on in class, this is what goes on in class. We getting educated in class. We ain't sitting there. This is what you're paying for. You ain't paying to get in there and look up some documents and shit like that. Peace to the gods and goddesses.